Hello students, today we are going to continue with part 2 of our topic pharmacoeconomics. So far we have seen that pharmacoeconomics measures and compares cost and consequences of pharmaceutical products and services. This kind of evaluation helps to reduce monetary burden on consumers for effective management of healthcare system. So now in today's session we are going to understand the fundamentals of pharmacoeconomics. So what exactly are these fundamentals? So far we have known that pharmacoeconomics is evaluation of cost and consequences of the pharmaceutical products. But what are these costs and consequences is something we need to understand. We will learn types of costs and consequences in the fundamentals here. We are going to understand full economic analysis and the types of full economic analysis, which includes cost minimization, cost benefit, cost effectiveness, cost utility, and cost consequences. So first, let us understand the fundamentals. We will begin with the types of cost. The types of cost are direct, indirect, and intangible. Let us understand them one by one. Direct cost means cost directly out of pocket. For example, the expense that you incur on physician's fee, cost of the drug, and the expense incurred on treating adverse drug reaction would be direct cost. Indirect cost is defined as the cost of travel to the hospital, loss of wages because of leave taken, loss of productivity at work, and so on. So loss of productivity of work would result in no increments. So in this way, indirectly you are at financial loss. So these are called indirect costs. Intangible cost is something that you cannot measure. For example, pain, worry, or distress to family or patient. In addition to these three types, there is also something called as opportunity cost. Now, this is the amount that is lost by not using economic resources. So now how exactly do they measure this cost? Now cost can be measured per unit or per treatment or per person or per person year, per case prevented, per life saved, or as per disability adjusted life year. So these are all the units in which the cost is measured. So far we have seen the types of cost. Now we will understand the different types of outcomes or consequences. So the first type of outcome is clinical outcome. This includes two types, final and intermediate. Final includes number of deaths, life years gained, and the cure rate of a patient with a particular drug. Intermediate includes response to a particular treatment and the decrease in blood pressure with the particular therapy. Economic outcomes include those of two types, that is utilization of health resources and non-monetary. Now when you talk about utilization of health resources, this include the number of days spent in hospital, because the more the number of days you spent in hospital, the more of the hospital's resources you actually use. And in case of non-monetary, it includes absenteeism from work due to some illness, or sometimes you may lose wages because of that, and therefore these are called as economic outcomes. The third type are humanistic outcomes. This includes quality of life. For example, whether a given drug or surgery has improved a patient's quality of life or not. It includes intangible aspects. For example, does a particular drug promote a sense of well-being? Now, well-being is something that you cannot measure, so it is intangible. So, about quality adjusted life years, we will learn a little later. The next part is the units that are used to measure outcomes. These include natural unit, for example, years saved, strokes prevented, and peptic ulcers healed. The next type of unit is utility unit. This includes feeling of satisfaction or well-being from a treatment. So more of utility unit are intangibles. Natural unit are something which you can actually see, the visible change that you can see in a person post a treatment. Let us now understand what is a full economic analysis. Consider you have two drugs, namely drug A and drug B. Now you compare the cost of both drug A and B, and then you link the cost to the consequence or outcome of these drugs. So in such a case, the type of analysis is known as full economic analysis. Let us now understand with an example what exactly do we mean by linking cost with consequences. Consider you have drug A and B. Cost of drug A is 500 and that of B is 600. Now if you consider the benefit of both drugs in terms of the number of years that you may live longer, you will observe that longevity is more with drug A. If you take a cost benefit ratio, you will find a lower value for drug A, which means there is less cost and more benefit associated with this particular drug. Therefore, among the two drugs, drug A is better. So this is how the linking of cost to benefit is done, and you choose one therapy over the other. Let us now understand the different types of pharmacoeconomic evaluations. So there are a total of 6 full economic evaluations, namely cost minimization, cost utility, cost benefit, cost effectiveness, and cost consequences analysis. Let us now understand the first type, that is cost minimization analysis, in detail. Now this method is used when the drugs have same efficacy. So when you have to compare the costs for drugs with similar consequences, this method is used. Let us now understand it better with the example. Consider there are two drugs, namely drug A and drug B. The acquisition or purchase cost of drug A is 250 and that for drug B is rupees 350. The efficacy for both drugs, that is the antibiotic effectiveness, is 90%, which is similar. So now if you have to look at the cost, you will see that drug A is better than drug B. Why? Because at lower cost you are getting the same efficacy. So this is how you choose a particular drug using cost minimization technique. This type of analysis considers both quality as well as quantity of life and merges it into a single unit called quality adjusted life years, or QALY. So here it is not just an increase in lifespan, but whether that lifespan has quality, that is also measured. So when you have to choose a drug based on this method, you will use the formula cost utility analysis is equals to cost upon utility. So this utility here is defined in terms of quality adjusted life years, or QALY. So let us now first understand the concept of QALY. Consider a graph with x-axis and y-axis. Now on the x-axis you have the number of years lived, and on the y-axis you have quality of life. Consider drug 1. On the scale of number of years lived, the score is 4, while on the scale of quality of life, the score is 0.8. So if you have to consider drug 1 and calculate the quality adjusted life years or QALY, it is 0.8 multiplied by 4, which is 3.2. Now consider drug 2. The number of years that you will live after taking this drug is 6, and the quality of life of those years is 0.4. So if you see the QALY score, it is 0.4 multiplied by 6, which is 2.4. So you see that even though drug 2 increases the lifespan, yet the quality of life is low. Hence, the score that you obtain for QALY is less as compared to the score for drug 1. So this approach is used for cost utility analysis. So cost utility analysis is not a unidimensional concept where you only measure the number of years that a person has lived, but you also measure the quality of those particular years. So it is a very generic concept, and now let us understand how this assessment is done of cost utility using an example. Consider two drugs, drug A and drug B. Drug A has lower acquisition cost, that is the lower purchase cost. However, drug B, if you see, it has less adverse effects. So the cost on adverse effects for drug B is 0. So if you compare the subtotal cost on drug A and B, you will find that the total cost for drug B comes out to be lower than drug A. Now if you see survival with drug A and drug B, you will find that it is more with drug A. But if you see the quality of life, you will find that the score is higher or better with drug B. So you calculate the quality adjusted life years, that is you divide and you find out the quality adjusted life years. So you observe a particular score, which is 0.73 for drug A and 0.66 for drug B. So now you see that the QALY score is higher for drug A, but when you calculate the cost to utility ratio, that is you divide the cost by QALY, you will find that for drug A, you will have to spend 685 rupees to get 1 year of quality in your life, whereas you will have to spend only 606 rupees with drug B to add 1 year of quality to your life. And this is quite obvious because you have less adverse effects with drug B. So you see that even though the QALY score is lower for drug B, the overall cost to utility ratio, if you compare, it is much better for drug B. That is, with very less money, you are getting a quality life year. So among the two drugs, drug B is better. So this type of assessment is called the cost to utility assessment. The cost to benefit analysis expresses the outcomes in terms of money. It is expressed as a ratio of benefit to cost, and the net benefit is given as benefit that is obtained from a therapy minus the cost of that particular therapy. Now this method is used especially for comparison of programs that have different outcomes. For example, aspirin versus surgery for treatment of deep vein thrombosis. This is useful when resources are limited and only one program can be implemented. So in such a case, this gives a very good comparative and helps us to select a most cost-effective program. Let us now understand cost-benefit analysis with the help of an example. Consider two drugs, namely drug A and drug B. Now the cost of drug A is 500 while that of drug B is 400. If you look at the benefits, you will observe that they have been converted to monetary terms. So if you see the benefits, the days at work, you will see some amount in rupees. If you see extra months of life, you will see some amount in rupees. Now that is because extra months of life means you have extra capacity to work, so you will have some income. So in that way it has been converted and written in terms of some money or monetary value. So the total benefit with drug A is rupees 3000 and the total benefit with drug B is 4000. Now if we see the net benefit, that is the total cost, so we will find that this is given by benefit that you get, which is 3000 for drug A and 4000 for drug B, minus the total cost. Now this total cost is 500 for drug A and 400 for drug B. So if you see the net benefit, you will observe that on drug A you are spending 2500, so you are getting a net benefit of 2500, whereas in case of drug B the net benefit that you get is of 3600. So if you see the benefit that is associated with drug B is much more than the benefit that is associated with drug A. Now in this case we also calculate the benefit to cost ratio. Now benefit to cost ratio, it is expected that the cost should be lower and the benefit should be maximum. So in this case, the more is the ratio, the better is the drug. So in this case, if you see for drug B, it is better. The next method is cost effectiveness analysis. The objective of this method is to examine and compare cost and consequences of drugs and interventions. Here cost is in terms of monetary values, that is money, and consequences. And consequences are in natural units. Okay, so the cost is in terms of money and consequences are in terms of natural units. For example, the natural units are cases cured, lives saved, deaths averted. Now this method is used when you have to choose between alternatives for a disease. It is calculated as cost effectiveness is equals to cost upon the effectiveness. So the lower is the ratio. That means the greater the effectiveness, better is the drug or a therapy. So now let us understand this concept with the help of an example. So you have drug A and drug B. You see that the cost for drug A and drug B, you will notice that the total cost for drug A, including the cost on purchase, administration and adverse effect, is 500, whereas the cost for drug B is 400. Now if you have to consider the output, now consequences are measured in terms of life, natural units. Okay, so natural units means extra years of life, the number of lives saved. So here it is extra years of life. So if you see these values, you will find that for drug A it is 2.2, for drug B it is 1.6, which means the consequences are better with drug A. But if you have to calculate the cost by effectiveness ratio, you will have to divide the total cost by the effectiveness, or you have to divide the cost by output. So when you divide it, what you will find is that for drug A, to get maximum cost effectiveness, you are spending only 225 rupees, whereas on drug B you are spending 250 rupees. That means drug A is much more effective as compared to drug B. So between the two, you will choose drug A. The last type is cost consequence analysis. It will simply calculate cost and outcomes. Outcomes could be of different types like change in cholesterol level or quality adjusted life years, etc. In this method, we do not calculate any ratio. We just look at the cost and consequences, and on that basis we do a subjective evaluation and then we arrive at a decision. Let us understand this with the help of an example. If you compare drug A and B and drug C, if you just look at the cost and the outcome, which is quality adjusted life year or QALY, you will find that among the three, the cost for drug B is less, and also the quality adjusted life years has increased compared to drug A. Now drug C, the quality of life is more, the quality adjusted life year is more, But if you see the cost is also more. So if you to compare between all the three, what you will find is that drug B is much more reasonable. It's much more reasonable to go for drug B because you have an enhancement in the quality adjusted life year as compared to drug A. And at the same time, the cost is relatively less. So this is how the evaluation is done. It is a subjective evaluation which is done. So now the question is, how will you exactly know which particular analysis to choose? So if you have to compare two drugs or multiple drugs that have equal efficacy and tolerability, then in that case you will go for cost minimization analysis. Suppose you have to compare drugs which are for the same conditions. There could be multiple drug treatment if you have to compare for the same condition. For example, chemotherapy versus radiotherapy for cancer. That case you would go for cost effectiveness analysis. When you have to compare a particular therapy with different outcomes. For example, you may have a particular therapy in case of arthritis. Now that therapy can have different outcomes. Either the person's condition will improve or the person's condition will worsen. Or in some extreme cases, the person may not even survive for a longer period of time. So specifically, those particular treatments for which quality of life is one of the outcomes, for that you go for cost utility analysis. Now when you are comparing two different interventions, for example the pre-conception care versus prenatal care in terms of the quality of life of that particular baby which is born, or on the health of the baby, or what is the impact of preconception care or prenatal care on the health of the baby. When you have to do such kind of assessment, then you are comparing preconception care versus prenatal care. So for comparison between these two interventions, cost benefit analysis is a much more preferred method. And cost consequences analysis is a very superficial analysis. It is done for all therapies, but it is subjective in nature because you are not taking any ratio of cost or benefit. You're just looking at cost and benefit, and on that basis you are taking at the or arriving at a decision. So now what is the purpose of this whole exercise of learning different methods of pharmacoeconomic evaluation? So if you have a good therapy, but if it is not priced appropriately, you may have no takers for your medicine. So this entire philosophy is summarized in this meme. We came up with a pill that cures everything, but I am warning you, it's gonna be expensive. So that's all for this session. We are almost now done with the topic. We'll just send you another audio PPT in a day or two, and that will be the end of the syllabus for clinical pharmacy.